replicating what has been done to us throughout slavery, the colonial period, and now we're doing it ourselves. There has to be different thinking. We have to be thinking, yes, we export a certain quantity, but a certain quantity has to be used in the local market and in the Caribbean as a whole. So we have to do secondary processing. We have to make soursop tea with the leaves. We have to make soursop powder. We have to make soursop juices, etc. When the cruise ship comes into Grenada, one of the things that they should all be clamoring for is a soursop drink because of Mr. Pierce, its perceived qualities. We need to be much smarter in terms of how we operate as a people. We can't just take the easy road. It's easy for me to go and pick soursop. I think they pay about $3.50 a pound for soursop, $4 a pound for soursop. But if I had my way, I would turn this green gold, as they call it, into something that is sustainable, that is viable, that where all the people involved in the industry can benefit. Because at the moment, who's benefiting? The real beneficiary are the exporters. They will argue, well, Josh, you can't criticize us and say we're the main beneficiary because the losses we have because of the aeroplane problem, not turning up on time, fruits ripening, etc. We have a lot of losses. But if you bring the soursop exporter together, they will tell you it's a lucrative business. It's the same as the CBI. If you get involved with the CBI people, it doesn't matter what criticism there is about CBI, they will tell you it's a very, very lucrative market. Now, there might be some kind of criticism left, right, and center. I know previously Nazim Burke said he was going to close it down, but if you're a CBI lawyer, you're making more money than you ever dreamt
About
about.
30 million a year.
You know, I mean, so when there's money and it's lucrative, people will maintain it. But the only issue I have, it's why is it only a few makes the money from it? Why can't we spread that money, to the general population?
Joshua, maybe in that question we have to ask, does the farmers in Grenada want to make money? That's an important question, I believe, to ask, because a farmer might have 1 acre land. The farmer want to plant every tree he have in Grenada in this acre land. He tell you have golden apple, you have grapefruit, you have ghost poison. What is 1 acre land you have? So you cannot get the maximum production from the land if you plant a multiplicity of trees. So the farmers first have to ask, do I want to make money? I'm going in agriculture. What I'm going in agriculture for? To make money? I have 1 acre land. I have access to water. The land is relatively flat. And that is strange in Grenada, because our land is undulating.
Yeah.
Do I plant nutmeg? Do I plant cocoa? Do I plant soursop? Or do I plant seasoning? Because it's money I want to make.
Yeah. Whilst you were talking, I was pondering because I've met a lot of farmers over the years. And I think there are a section of farmers who do want to make money. There are a section of farmers that I meet who are, I don't know what they are, subsistent farmers, blind farmers. It's like they're farming, but they seem to be unaware of the environment that they're operating in. They grow the crop, somebody buy it. They don't really seem interested in, I've made 20,000 this year, or I'm going to make 100,000 next year. It's a lifestyle, and it looks to me on the outside as a stress-free lifestyle. Whether they are second, third generation farmers, they have a lot of land, and they grow the crops, and they live on the farm. I see little children quite often there, and they just seem chilled. And one of them, I wanted to buy all his crops 2 days ago. He was doing bell peppers. And I saw this lovely farm. The father was there, the son was there, all of them farming, lots of land, and looks like quality farming. And I thought, bell peppers, there's always a shortage. Let me buy all the bell peppers from this man in advance because I have a market for bell pepper that I can't supply. And I said to him, how do you sell it? He says, whoever come, I sell to. I thought, he makes enough and he doesn't have to count his money because he could pay for his car, his gas, or his wife, or whatever. So there is that type of farmer. And I think that, in the world, people long for that kind of lifestyle, living on the land, growing your stuff, making a living. And there is the whole commercial aspect where, the hotels need certain amount of produce. The supermarkets need certain amount of produce. Our local markets need certain amount of produce. And what we don't have is the audit of, we use like 1,000,000 pounds of bell pepper a year, but the actual demand is for 2 million. We need that kind of data, and then we need to establish the wholesale market where you have 10,000 pounds of bell peppers. The wholesaler just buys your 10,000 pounds, and then you have the wholesale market where the vendors can come and buy their smaller
You're
quantities.
speaking of a very organized market. A
Yeah.
lot of our farmers are unproductive, romantic agricultural farmers.
Well, I like that, but it's not productive.
They are unproductive, but the agriculture is very romantic to them. We
Yeah,
have a lot of cocoa farmers and nutmeg farmers, I believe, fall in that category. They're
yeah,
very unproductive, but it's a very romantic crop,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And they grow the crop and they talk about it and they complain and they
Well,
go back.
they make chocolates and they have chocolate festival
Well,
these days.
yes, and they go to the and they say it's, and some of the chocolate that are made specifically for festivals.
Yeah,
You don't make it at home.
okay.
You watch it, you have a good time.
But
Because a cocoa farmer in Grenada, about how much you think an acre of cocoa gives you per annum?
uh, an acre of coca, I would think, give you very little, maybe $3,000. So
About $7,000 gross.
7,000.
Gross. I don't think you could get more than $7,000.
Right. So
gross.
50% of that is labor and
Well, let's say 50% is labor
yeah, and materials
and material.
manual and all those.
And farmers love that crop.
Yeah.
And a man have 1 acre of cocoa,
hmm
and he would not intercrop that cocoa with some pumpkin on the edge that grow on the cocoa.
But $3,000 a year, that is criminal.
Well, that's why I tell you, it's not it's romantic. It's unproductive.
Romantic
Look at my nice
criminal.
cocoa trees, how they look.
Yeah.
And I have 2 buckets of cocoa.
And
And I don't know when they're buying.
Yeah.
And I'm making noise, but I feel
yeah, and I have the same problem, Mr. Pierre, with my mother. My mother has almost 4 acres of land filled with cocoa,
of course, how could she cut
and,
down
and,
a nice cocoa?
and she wouldn't let me cut it down.
No, she say you're crazy. You
Yes.
want to cut down the British cocoa
Yeah,
to make chocolate.
and she's basically on the verge of violence towards me when I tell her.
No, cutting down the cocoa, you can't tell her that.
Yeah.
One farmer said, leave my father alone with his cocoa. Help him when he could. And leave him, let him enjoy his field. So
Yeah.
he tell the other, don't interfere with him.
Yeah.
He love his cocoa.
Yeah.
You don't make money from it, we'll help him. We'll take care of him. Just because the cocoa become a romantic crop.
Yeah.
Even the Cocoa Association treats it like that.
Yeah.
It's an unproductive, romantic scenario
Yeah.
where they maybe could write about it or something.
Yeah. I remember when the director of Cardi came up to the land and he was looking at the cocoa tree and he was kind of in his element. He says some of these species here are so old, so good. You can't cut it down either. So
It's very romantic. They say, how could you cut down?
yeah,
Because they had Grenada. One of the things that make Grenada chocolate unique is the number of varieties
right,
of cocoa we had. And some of the old farmers would have tell you the numbers and the names of the cocoa
Yeah,
and
yeah.
etc. And then when they propagated the cocoa, they gave you a certain amount. So if you bought 100 plant, you might have gotten 20 varieties.
right, right.
Very, 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 very scientific, but
Yeah,
very romantic.
Yeah,
It was
because
not destined to make money, but it was destined to love the crop.
yeah, but we have from memory a variety called Trinitario.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be a real quality cocoa that is used to blend with the West African cocoa to give the West African cocoa flavor. And but we don't get a premium price for our cocoa. So that tells me, that there is room to develop a better price for
Our negotiators are very timid. I
Yeah.
guess by the time they reach the environment, they come in this romantic mood.
Yeah.
So they accept what they want, just as the farmer.
Yeah.
And the husbandry practice in cocoa now, I don't know what better word that we could use for it, but to say it's disastrous. It's disastrous.
Yeah.
You could see that the fields are crying out for good husbandry practice.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know what extension officers that they have. But these crops are crops that we export. We export this crop.
Yeah.
So there is a market for it.
That,
We
that,
may not be getting premium price,
yeah.
but we have a market.
Yeah.
And we can supply the quantity.
That the market wishes.
And we are not doing anything much about it.
Mm-hmm.
On the local end, the Ministry of Agriculture, a lot of times we speak and we try to stay away from going after the ministry. But the Ministry of Agriculture, do they advertise local consumption of cocoa? Everybody say cocoa is a romantic crop. It makes you more peaceful.
Cocoa songs are romantic and sexy.
Well, yes, so all people seem to getting more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
All women getting very independent and very cantankerous and very procrastinating.
But
So
that is your view.
so maybe the Ministry of Agriculture should advertise or market cocoa more to encouraging chocolate.
No, but GCN should do that. Because they, I guess, I tend to think they're profitable, but quite often government have to bail them out, so they're probably not.
I have never separated GCNA from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
And why?
Mm-hmm.
Government have, I think, 2 persons on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So if government have 2 persons on the board, the government policies supposed to be advocated by these 2 people on the board. And GCNA strategy, policy, and plan supposed to be advocated by these people on the board.
Yeah.
So you're trying
That
to
makes
get
sense.
government intention and GCNA intention in unison.
Right.
So when you meet an agriculture officer, they should be practically advocating
Yeah.
the policies of GCNA and the government in agriculture, which is generally one and the same thing. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Caller, you're live today with us on Studio Galaxy, and you're with the Galaxy Equalizers. Go right ahead. Yes, caller? Well, this caller didn't want to be on live, so you call us back. Yes, so I've never really separated. I've never called the Ministry of Agriculture name, but I started now. But I've never separated the Cocoa Association from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Based on what you're saying, it makes sense in terms of that uniform approach with the ministry and GCNA. But it's a good theory, but it doesn't seem to have worked.
Well, if theory doesn't work here, you see, if the Ministry of Agriculture put 2 persons on the board, the question will, why are you putting these people on the board? Why are you putting these people on the board? You may say, okay, this board have problem in in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I will put somebody on the board that may be more versed and knowledgeable in
Marketing.
marketing.
Right.
These people have problem in accounting.
Mm-hmm.
They seems not to able to present their accounts good. So I will put somebody from the Ministry of Finance on the board to help them strengthen that area. These people seems to be lacking in husbandry practice. So I'll put an extension officer on the board who is versed in that. So the person you put on the board reflects government policy and intention.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then the government supposed to score is not a word, but make the person that goes on the board know what is government objective on the board.
Absolutely.
And the farmers select the board. So you come to me and you want me to bail you out. God. Well, if you want me to bail you out, look at these policies, suggestions I have. So when you have an extension division, the extension division would be propagating government position that they agree with the board.
Right, right. That
So
makes
it makes sense.
Yeah.
So if government have a marketing arm, then the government could market cocoa for local consumption of cocoa chocolate.
Yeah.
And when the ministers and them go to a function, instead of coffee, they have chocolate.
Yeah, makes sense.
And if you give me ice cream, it must have nutmeg in it. Instead of vanilla ice cream. Because I'm not pushing vanilla here. I want sauce up ice cream with nutmeg in it.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about when we started talking about soursop. You know, them as well as export, there must be the development of a local market, because I firmly believe that with the range of tourism that we have in terms of Grenada, you know, we have an existing market that we can develop for soursop at home, the local people, as well as the guests that comes through our hotel. We have a market for them right here. You know, the researchers in terms of soursop products and our university, our tertiary college, all has to be lined up to the products that we grow. We can't be learning about all kind of things.
Remember, going after university, the university is a big stone. John Compton said, the University of the West Indies has not done justice to agriculture. He said, we worse off than the days of Pharaoh. In the days of Pharaoh, we had the bullocks and the cart. He said, now we're fighting with the hoe and the spade.
Oh, Lord.
Forbes Bonham was the one that come up with grow what you eat and eat what you grow.
Right.
He banned currant and raisin.
Right.
And that's why Five Finger became popular even in Grenada. He banned carrots. And Ghanaians used to use pumpkin. They used to serve pumpkin as salad. And a number of other products. They banned cheese. He said we have enough milk, make cheese.
Yeah.
The Caribbean run down Bonham. They cried on Bonham. Not even the University at the West Indies supported Forbes Bonham. Then Forbes Bonham, when he staring failure in front of him, he said Guyana going to be the bread basket of the Caribbean. Jack they come in power. And he realized how weak Guyana was with to meet the current expenditures. And he offered Caribbean leaders to buy land in Guyana. He said, you all want us to produce food for the Caribbean. And they don't have the liquidity. Come and buy land in Guyana. Grenada, then I was advocating that Grenada should spend $50 million buying land in Guyana.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you're a visionary.
It's the first time I got shot down so fast I go and drink her. So this is a challenge. Our intellectuals are not involved in production.
They're not visionary either.
So we have a lot of agricultural doctors at the highest level. But go on and see if they're producing anything.
Or do any papers that
And they are not. With all our PhDs, you can't read no publication there. I read Lawrence Joseph publication, and one of them I want to discuss: is there a case for reincarnation? You even have one on that. Lawrence Joseph have been very prolific in his writing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and my brother Douglas, the sociologist, has also been prolific.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of our agricultural experts don't write anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So their certificate is a partition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they are teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And you might find them in the extension division. But they can bring you to their home
Mm-hmm.
and say, this is how I'm saying to you to plant cabbage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this is a challenge we have.
Yeah. So let me step back a little bit to the question, because I want to make this point and I hope it's taken up. We need to be clear about our import. What is it that we import in, and what is there on our import that we could have an import substitution or two? We need to have an idea. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate about the amount of bananas we are consuming in Grenada, planting, dashing, yams, potato, etc. We need to know these things. And this is when I call on the ministry and maybe the FAO to give some technical assistance so we can have a baseline that we can plan from. People wanted to send sweet potatoes to the ABC island, I think Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. And I was saying to them, do you know what the local consumption is? You want to export a product to the ABC Islands, and there's shortages in Grenada for sweet potatoes. We need to organize in a way that our home base is not neglected. And we need to organize where we can increase production and export. But you can't leave a child starving in Grenada and be exporting the food. It just doesn't make proper economic or social or humane sense. We need to get our planning together, and we need to share the planning with the whole nation, because if we have the data, at least we have an idea, what to grow. I know the possibility is, from what I see, like farmers see a product with a high price and everybody goes for that product. But we need to plan as a
Almost
society.
all the products now have relatively good price.
Okay.
If you ask a man, a pound of pumpkin in Grenada now in the supermarkets or the shops, they sell for about $2 a pound. What does it cost to produce a pound of pumpkin?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 50 cents.
Yeah.
That must sell for about $2.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Potato on the market is about $4,
$5.
$3, $4, $5.
Mm-hmm.
What does it cost to produce a pound of potato? And potato take 3 months to produce.
Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah.
So you could practically have 3 crops a year.
Yeah, it's the pest with the potatoes. They have some pest in potatoes that, pay nothing and not even a rent and just go in and eat all your potatoes.
Well, anytime you get free milk, why mind cows? And the pests have the same way. Yeah. But I think the Ministry of Agriculture have to lead the way. They have to be more vocal.
I agree with you 100%. They have to lead. They have to be vocal, and they have to share the research that they have. There's a lot of bright people in the ministry. Our ministries always educate the
Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Health must have the two most, the ministry most professionals.
Yeah,
and it's two ministries that perhaps the hardest to handle.
Yeah,
because you have amount of professionals. And in all fairness to agriculture, when you work with government in these ministries, you tend not to want to talk too much because you might end up in trouble.
Right.
Because based upon what an extension officer might see, he might run into trouble with the politician. So, in fact, the rules say, Our extension officer cannot go against government policy. And if you don't show what government policy is, practically anything you say could be against government policy.
Yeah. So that needs to be dealt with.
So you don't find extension officers want to come on the radio. A lot of radio personalities might feel it awkward, but the officer don't want to come on the radio because anything he says could be taken differently.
Yeah.
But I think the Ministry of Agriculture have to come up with some of the crops that showing farmers. Take for instance lettuce.
Hydroponics.
We should be self-sufficient in lettuce.
Yeah.
Lettuce is not hard to grow,
No.
and it's a 3-week crop.
Yeah. I experimented with lettuce with one farmer. The first crop that he put down, the chicken take it. The chicken went and they ravaged that crop. The second thing that he had to do, he put them up on stilts or whatever, and he used cow manure mix up with the earth, and those lettuce produce like nothing. Big, green, and beautiful. So my advice, not being a technical farmer, but a wannabe farmer, is like use the cow manure on the lettuce and put them on stilts, raised beds, I think it's
Or you
called.
could fence the area so the fowls can go.
Yeah, but
Or kill the fowls.
they kill them anyway every
But
Sunday.
sometimes the fowls they have the unproductive.
Yeah.
Some yard fowls you have to feed it. but the question constantly that all farmers have to do better. And all farmers have to know if you have an eighth of an acre of land and you are doing lettuce, you might make more money than somebody who have an acre of cocoa or an acre of nutmeg.
You're making much more money if you have an acre of lettuce than cocoa.
Farmers have to understand that if you plant soursop in a portion of land, you could graze sheep or goat in the land. Because sheep and goat don't eat soursop.
Or just put some Tanya down.
Different crops. So you could have you acre 2 land and you could have 10 sheep. And you have it in there and then you don't have to bother much about weeding and etc. And then the waste from the sheep goes back in the land.
Yeah. Part of the whole thing is, it reminds me of when a mother cares for a child and when a mother don't care for a child. You see the difference. And to me, it's almost as though sometimes Grenada is neglected, in terms of the things we have and how we organize it and how we use them. One of the things, we're in mango season now, and I spoke to one of the supermarkets, and I said, well, why don't you try some mangoes? We don't sell that. I said, okay, well, I'll give you some. I gave them about 30 pounds of mango. Within 2 days, it had finished. I gave them 50 pounds 2 days later. 2 days later, I finished. That same place is using 150 pounds of mango a week now, and that's not enough for them. And there are many other supermarkets like that who believe that there's no market for mango, and everybody have access to mango. Not everybody have access to mango, especially the table mangoes like the Julie and the Ceylon and the Imperial.
Sometimes you can go and pick up your own mango when you want to suck it.
Yeah.
The teas pick it up and sell it to you.
Yeah. And I wonder if there is an organized market, like a wholesale market for mangoes, whether that would make a difference. I believe it would make a difference.
So you can explore the possibility.
Well, I have identified an area and I have identified a business. And I'm telling you what's in my head. I have a relationship with the business, and I am going to try and see whether I can make a dent into this wholesale thing with somebody else. Because if there is a wholesale market for mangoes, I am sure the farmers from everywhere will bring their mangoes. One of the things that I worked on a few years ago with a company and with the USDA was gaining access for our mangoes to the US. We worked on this project privately and passed it on to the ministry. The ministry tends to take all the credit as though they were the ones who gain entry for mangoes going back to the US. But it was a private company that worked with them in terms of doing that with the USDA. I was fortunate to be part of that kind of group that was working on that product. And what we recommended was that there should be buying station in all the cocoa and nutmeg stations because those infrastructure already exist, and that product should be put together in a container and shipped out. Now, there's been no progress whatsoever in terms of mangoes, so we might as well not have had that kind of policy hard work done behind the scenes to allow us mangoes to go back to the US. And the UK has a good market for mangoes as well.
A little bit more difficult than the US market.
Yeah, but we have the access. It's what gets me is the kind of middle, the follow up, the technical bit. It's not done
because the husbandry practices in mango. You must prune mango. Otherwise, the mango wouldn't be as much.
Yeah,
and if you're dealing with harvesting, then you have to prune the mango.
Yeah, and I've seen a field of mango, about 5 acres, and it's bearing little to nothing. I spoke with the farmer and I said, something has to be done. I don't know about mango and production.
Husbandry practice, you must prune mango.
I said,
it's like saucer.
I said, there's no
sometimes you have to threaten to kill the tree.
Yeah, there's no light going through these trees. Something has to be done. He says, yes, I know they have to be pruned, but it's the money. So I'm going to, after the program, I'm going to ask you a little bit more about that and see how we can get the trees pruned. It's 5 acres of Julie mango.
See, that's where husbandry practice come out. And that's where the ministry should be good. In husbandry practice. So even giving a paper a fly sheet, giving a farmer a fly sheet with some advice. Just hand it, maybe over and over. Then we have children do agriculture in school. But I believe they're removing agriculture from CXC. CXC, or what you all exam you all do in school? CAPE or CXC or GC? What you do? All of them? Huh? CAPE? CXC. I understand they might remove agriculture from CXC because the amount of people interested in it is perhaps less than what it is to be economical.
Yeah, but
and that's the reality.
Yeah, but there has to be kind of better strategic thinking.
The question we asking, and we have had, it seems that we had some technical challenges when we just started. So for the first 10 minutes or so, it appears that people were not hearing us. So we're going to just, as we end in the program, go back. The question, the theme was, what kind of agriculture sector we want? What kind of agriculture sector we want? Who are we catering for? Yes, we know we're catering for the export market, particularly with nutmeg and spice, cocoa, sauersup, and fish. Those are the 4 major products that we export. We don't have enough. We have problem for transportation, particularly with fish and saucer. And do you want to make money from agriculture? The farmers that involved in agriculture, are they in it to make money? Or are they just a romantic agriculture crop? You plant your cocoa, you enjoy yourself, you go and sell your cocoa, you see trouble to sell it, you make nice, you laugh, you curse everybody, and you go back home and plant your cocoa again.
I think cocoa especially is romantic. I mean, it's a romantic kind of crop. But I think it could be a profitable crop.
Of course.
Because
even the women, and most of us, you see how we go back on women again. In yesteryear, a lot of women used to take the cocoa that we did not sell, the ungraded cocoa. We they take it and make chocolate. They used to make nice chocolate. They put spice. They put bay leaf. Every home had a different issue with it doing the chocolate. And they would sell the chocolate, and that would sell. They'll make a lot of money in it. They used to take on a Sunday morning. Sometimes they send you and pick ripe cocoa. And then you have to crack this cocoa and mix it up with ashes. You have to patch the cocoa. The green cocoa you mix with ashes, then you patch it, and then you put half green coconut in it. And you make a wonderful cocoa tea.
Wow.
That was a special.
I've never had that.
So they pick the cocoa fresh.
Wonderful.
And they put ashes. I think the ashes would help to give it body, take out the slime. And then they patch the cocoa. So it did not sweat. That cocoa from the pod to the ashes to the fire. You patch the cocoa. You shell the cocoa because they're particular. They don't use the shell. And then they pound this cocoa. And then they make cocoa tea. But they use milk, but they also use a half green coconut. And they make a lovely tea.
Wow.
And you make that with bully bakes and saltfish.
I long for that, Mr. Pierre. You can't say these things on the program and not point me in the right direction where we could do that. Because
and when a woman make this tea for the husband, and even sometimes he don't say thanks, he drink all, and he belch. Trust me.
Oh Lord, I long for that.
That man you have the see, and he boasting about. The thing about all the greater men, particularly traditional men, they boast about the women behind their back. They boast about the women behind their back.
Not in front.
Not in front of them.
Yeah.
The women say we're not very romantic, but you must hear us talk about you behind your back.
Yeah.
Modern day women want you to talk about them in the present.
Yeah. They want confirmation from you that all is well. And
so why are we involved in agriculture? We are aware that we can produce everything we consume. But the things we could produce, why don't we produce?
Yeah, we need to organize ourselves better in simple forms. So, for example, just to give a simple example, we have cocoa producers, and you just mentioned that lovely recipe there. A certain percentage of the cocoa should go to the people who are doing secondary processing. And it might be that in the beginning it's not commercially viable, but the knowledge that you gain from learning the technical aspect will eventually make this product, commercially viable. But if you don't start somewhere, you're always at the beginning. And that's the bit that saddens me. We're so resistant to innovation and creativity. By now, we should have a chocolate drink that's famous all over the world. We should have a Grenada chocolate tea shop, just as people have tea shop in the UK and other places. We should have a chocolate shop that we're making all kinds of different chocolate, and we could start where the population is biggest in maybe St. George's. I know up in St. Mark's, when I go up there to the chocolate factory, I get some of the chocolate that they make for me. But this thing needs to be kind of bigger, better, probably even in the cruise terminal to begin with. So we just start small, and we get the schools involved because young people have a lot of innovative, creative ideas. Some of it might not be that practical, but we must get that process of thinking and innovating going with our products. We've had chocolate for too long, not to have secondary products. I know we have a few chocolate bars now, and all credit to them, but people tend to complain that the prices of the chocolates are high compared.
Well, obviously, you get a coffee for $1. So when I go in the rum shop, on and off, sometimes you need a coffee. You need something hot. because nothing went in your stomach before, and you want to say you put a base in your stomach before the rum come. So you ask for something hot, and the easiest thing is for them to give you a coffee. I mean,
Mr.
if they had spice or chocolate, I
Yeah.
would consume that.
Yeah, but Mr. Pierre, I hear you talking about the rum. Are you sponsored by the rum companies to promote rum?
No, I don't speak about the special rum. I speak about the rum shop.
Yeah.
As you see, the rum shop is like a symposium. That's where we have a discussion and drink before we go and sleep.
And laugh.
So it's very important for men. A woman passed the rum shop the last time, and she hear a man laughing. She come back. She says she want to hear who crowing. When she watch, she sees she man. She come in, she say, well, I never know you could have crow so. She said, when you there home, you vex, vex, vex.
Yeah.
She said she never, she said she she just remember way back where she had him meet. That's so used to crow. But when you're in the rum shop, you lighten up.
Right.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
And that's where you have a discussion and a drink after dinner. Well, Romans does hardly get dinner.
Yeah, my grandfather was a drinker before dinner. He used to have a grog and he said for the gas.
Yeah, yes. A woman, the last time she lived for 103, she said she just take one before for appetizer.
Yes, that's what
Open
my
the
grandfather
appetite.
did.
But we take over a drink. It's the last 2 minutes of the day. Joshua, you want 1 minute out of the two.
Okay, I'll take one, and you could give me yours if you want. Yeah, we need agriculture system that's data driven. We need to know our consumption. We need to know how much more we need to produce, and we need to start doing secondary processing with our products. We need to let our children in the schools loose and ask them to make things, do creativity. We want a livestock industry that's buoyant and profitable. We want to be cutting our own steaks in Grenada, not importing steaks. We have grass fed cows in Grenada, which is the most kind of expensive cow meat you could get, and we're selling it for little to nothing. We really have to see the opportunities around us, and we need to work together. Mr. Pierre always said, ministry and the public and the farmers. We can do it, but we need to change our system. We need to be more organized. We need a more organized system, and we need to create wholesale markets. I think that will help.
Yes, my brother, and we know we had some technical difficulties in the beginning. The topic we discussed was what kind of agriculture sector we need or we want. Who are we catering for? And do we want to make money from agriculture? And my last question to you is, at what age your child should start to have income, should enter business? At what age your child should start to be an income owner, to enter the business world? And this was the Galaxy Equalizers, and we are operating from Studio Galaxy 473 in Canforo. And we encourage you to share our program and subscribe. Thank you very much.